So let's talk about UHF with Weird Al Yankovic. Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Doyle, better known to as the Big D, and this time around I bring to you a re-review of the 1989 cult classic comedy satire known as UHF, released by Orion Pictures, starring Weird Al Yankovic, who also wrote the script with his manager Jay Levy, whom directed this film. Anyway, Al stars along with David Bowe, Fran Drescher, pre-Nanny, of course, from TV's The Nanny, Victoria Jackson, Kevin McCarthy, Michael Richards, Stanley Brock, Jed Watanabe, Billy Barty, Anthony Geary, plus Emu Phillips and Trinidad Silva, one of his last performances. Yes, which he died shortly after the film had wrapped up. Anyway, now before I get into this will have the whole movie spoiled. But if you don't want to hear the spoilers, well, just go to my channel page and look up my original review of this. But I'm doing a re-review of this in order to promote the release of Weird, the Al Yankovic story, which is coming up on the Roku channel later on this month. Anyway, Yankovic and Levy struggled to find a production company to finance this, but were eventually able to get Orion's support after saying they could keep the film costs under $5 million. And principal photography took place around the city of Tulsa, Oklahoma. Yeah. Anyway, now there was also a soundtrack album, which Al did, of course. Anyway, the film focuses on a shiftless dreamer who stumbles into managing a low-budget television station and surprisingly finds success with his eccentric programming choices, spearheaded by the antics of a janitor turned children's television host. Who provokes the ire of a major network station that dislikes the competitive upstart. Well, now, of course, the title refers to ultra-high frequency, that's, of course, UHF, analog television broadcasting band on which such low-budget television stations were often placed in the U.S. Now, apparently, they wrote this film right after Al's second studio album, which was Weird Al Yankovic in 3D, the album that gave us Eat It in 1984. It chose the approach of George, that's Al's character, having a vivid imagination to support the inclusion of parodies within the film. The film was unfortunately a big disappointment, but however, it did have its best test screen since RoboCop, which came out a couple of years before this. This film came out in July of 1989. Al figures this could be a big summer hit, but I'm getting ahead of myself though, so let's get into the story. George Newman, a dreamer who bounces between jobs, is put in charge of Channel 62, a UHF television station, when his uncle Harvey wins ownership of it in a poker game. George and his friend Bob realize the station is nearly bankrupt, subsisting on reruns of old shows like Green Acres and Mr. Ed, which were currently distributed by Orion and now under license to AMGM. When a package meant for their competitor VHF station Channel 8 is misdelivered to George, he decides to deliver it himself, only to be rudely thrown out by R.J. Fletcher, the CEO of the channel, who is really a real bad guy. Yeah, he's not the nicest guy out there. Outside, he meets Stanley, a janitor unfairly fired by R.J., and offers him a job at Channel 62. So George and Bob create new programs, including Uncle Nutsy's Clubhouse, a live children's show hosted by George. The new shows failed to increase viewership with the station days before bankruptcy. While fretting over their finances, George forgets his girlfriend Terry's birthday dinner and breaks up with him. George laments about his life during the Uncle Nutsy broadcast, then abandons the set, tells Stanley he can host the show, and goes to a bar with Bob. And at the bar, they find the patrons eagerly watching Stanley's slapstick antics on Channel 62. Inspired by Stanley's popularity, George and Bob create a range of bizarre shows to fill the schedule, headlined by the retitled Stanley Spadowski's Clubhouse. Now, and this is really something. RJ is infuriated that Channel 62's ratings now rival those of Channel 8 and discovers Harvey owns the station and owes his bookie, Big Louie, $75,000 by the end of the week. RJ offers to pay off Harvey's debt in exchange for the deed to Channel 62. However, George launches a telethon to sell stock in the station, which would not only save it from RJ, but also make it publicly owned. RJ's henchmen stall the telethon by kidnapping Stanley, whom George and several staff members rescue. Now for the ending. As always, you know the procedure. You have 5 seconds to stop this video. Go to the description box below and fast forward to the time below. If you've seen this movie already, which, well, who could blame you, please continue, alright? Thank you, and here we go. Okay, you've been warned. Let's see. Ah, yes. RJ again attempts to stall the telethon with a televised public statement, but the engineer at Channel 62, Philo, hijacks it with secretly recorded footage of RJ during a confrontation with Terry in which she defends George and Channel 62, insulting the town's population. Well, the telethon ends $2,000 short of its goal, and Harvey concedes victory to RJ, who, instead of immediately taking ownership, gloats to the crowd. Meanwhile, a homeless man approaches George, asking him if he could buy the rest of the stock with money obtained by selling a rare coin that RJ had given him. Unaware of its true value, George pays off Big Louie, Harvey signs the ownership transfer, and the station officially becomes publicly owned. RJ learns that due to Channel 8 filing late for renewal of their broadcast license at the Tyrant Philo had broadcast, the FCC is revoking their license. And George and the Channel 62 staff and their audience celebrate, and George and Terry rekindle their romantic relationship. End of story. So what did I think of UHF? Well, I gotta say, this is easily a guilty pleasure of mine. I have watched this film numerous times after hearing about it, especially most notably through sources and watching Weird Al's Behind the Music episode on VH1 a long time ago. Anyway, of course, this film remains Yankovic's sole starring role to this day. Anyway, I gotta say, this was really something. Now, internationally, the film was to be called The Vidiot, but the studio went with The Vidiot from UHF in an effort to connect the international and American versions, with which Yankovic has expressed dissatisfaction. Excuse me. Anyway, yeah, they used up all sorts of locations around Tulsa and what have you. Ranging from an actual hamburger joint to let's see, House of the Blues and a Pontiac location. Heck, they even and then even the news desk that's in there, it was located at actual PBS station OETA. Yeah, I just read about this. That's incredible. Anyway, I think this is just absolutely hysterical and is pretty darn funny. Now then. Now, the story I'm going to say wasn't too bad. It was pretty gosh darn funny and what have you. Now, I like the performances we got from Weird Al playing George, who's absolutely crazy. David Bowe playing Bob. Now, Bowe was actually a big time Weird Al fan at the time, so he got it. Although they originally wanted Jerry Seinfeld for the role, but anyway, Fran Drescher plays the secretary at Channel 62 who wants to be on-air reporter, Pamela Finkelstein. Michael Richards plays Stanley Spadowski. Great character, he's absolutely zany. Kevin McCarthy plays R.J. Fletcher. Now, I've seen McCarthy in some stuff he did before this, including Piranha, and he also played the bad guy in a MathNet mystery on Square One TV. See, Victoria Jackson, who was best known for being on Saturday Night Live at the time, played Terry. She was pretty good. Let's see, Stanley Brock plays Harvey Bilchick, George's uncle, and he's not too bad. Sue Ann Langdon plays, George's aunt Esther Bilchick. Anthony Geary plays Philo, who also turned out to be, spoilers, an alien later in the end. Billy Barty, in one of his last performances, plays the cameraman Newell's McIntosh. Of course, most of you know Billy Barty from his work on various Saturday morning shows, most notably ones done by Sid and Marty Krofft, where he voiced Sparky the Firefly on the Bugaloos, as well as Sigmund and the Sea Monsters. Trinidad Silva, in his last performance, plays Raul Hernandez, host of Raul's Wild Kingdom, which that's absolutely funny. And Jed Watanabe plays Cooney, a karate teacher who hosts a game called Wheel of Fish. Yeah, I mean, I was like, stupid! You're so stupid! That's crazy. We have Emo Phillips making a little bit of an appearance as a shop teacher, Joe Early in a segment for a little bit for Town Talk, one of their early bits. And there's even a little cameo by the guy who actually put Weird Al on the radio for the first time, Dr. Demento. He plays a whipped cream ear in a studio audience. You'll see when you see the big Channel 62 ad when they realize they've gone #1, what have you. Anyway, yeah, it's absolutely funny. They were all good. Also, later on in '89, there would also be a soundtrack as well. And of course, that was released, it was released later the same year. Well, right about the same time, which of course was called UHF Original Motion Picture Soundtrack and Other Stuff. It'd be Al's 6th overall studio album. The title track was released as a single, but it was not a hit and didn't chart, unfortunately. The album was a bit of a disappointment like this, as the film may have had the best test screenings out, Ryan, of course, but they were opening up against so many big flicks like Batman, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Do the Right Thing, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, and other films that were out at the time, like Ghostbusters 2, all at the same time, and ended up smack dab right in there. Though it went on to become a cult classic, but its failure left a deafening silence. The film went on to only make $6 million, so henceforth it bombed. And, reviews were terrible too. And according to Al, he says, I think Siskel and Ebert thought I was the Antichrist. Yeah. Nevertheless, the film also provided a very good soundtrack. First off with the little parody of Dire Straits' Money for Nothing, but with the lyrics of the ballad of Jed Clampett, the theme to the Beverly Hillbillies. There's also some other songs on there, including parodies of Stand by REM called Spam, and let's see, She Drives Like Crazy, which is a parody of She Drives Me Crazy by the Fine Young Cannibals. There's even the Hot Rocks Polka, which that's absolutely really funny as well. Well, I haven't really officially heard all the songs on there, but still, I've got to say, it was really something. Now, of course, for the money for Not the Knockoff, the response Al got back from Mark Knopfler of Dire Straits, which he provides the guitar, and Guy Fletcher on the synthesizer. Knopfler's one condition for allowing the parody was having them on there. So anyway, I thought it was pretty good. But even so, UHF has got a ton of laughs. It's got some of the most zaniest characters. Might not be one of the best, but still, I'd still say give it a one-time watch or go ahead. Those are two recommendations by me. But only if you are a hardcore Weird Al Yankovic fan, or if you're into stuff with parodies and I don't know what have you. Because this has all sorts of parodies, including Spatula City and let's see, Plots R Us, Mortuary Service, even Gandhi 2, which Jay Levy actually appears as Gandhi. It's, of course, a little commercial skit featured in the movie. It's also on the soundtrack. Anyway, so I'd still say give UHF a one time watch. Or unless you are a hardcore Weird Al Yankovic fan, then this film's for you. So anyway, it's got some pretty good characters, great soundtrack. It's just got everything. So anyway, what did you think of UHF? You can let me know in the comments section below. Now, you can also find this. The film's also available on DVD and Blu-ray. Now, of course, if I can check this, give me a second. Oh wait, one more thing I forgot to mention. This film also parodies some various movies and what have you, including thing takes on Indiana Jones and Rambo in the film as well. I almost forgot about that. Oops. Still, yeah. The film got released in a 25th anniversary of DVD and Blu-ray from Shout Factory, which you could probably still get for a pretty reasonable price. So again, check out UHF. If you have seen UHF, let me know what you thought about in the comment section below. If you like this video, click the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. And next time, I'll be bringing to you my spoiler-free review of Ticket to Paradise. Thanks for watching, and if you like this, check out these other crazy twisted satire films. In the upper left-hand corner is my review on Airplane from 1980. The upper right-hand corner is my review of the Kentucky Fried Movie from 1977. Or go to the bottom left-hand corner and see my review of the Warped Out Epic Movie from 2007. And the bottom right-hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.